funny.
Yeah, it's funny though, because to cut you off real quick, I always laugh with these anime figures are like some of the most fascinating but also disturbing things that like on the planet to me.
Yep.
Because some of them are really cool and like super detailed, like all the ones you have, or like the more like I guess like conservative ones you can say.
Yep.
But then there's like the frickin' like that one at the anime store that's never gonna sell.
It's never gonna sell. Yeah.
The ones that are like highly sexualized, and it's like these make me uncomfortable.
It's just like I feel like if you're gonna buy those, you're gonna buy those online where no one is going to see you.
Or you're gonna go to a store that's just like distinctly tailored to that.
Yeah. Well, because like in Japan, they have like their own section or like their own stores, which are literally like the porny ones, I guess you could say. Like that's the best way to describe it. Like they literally have their own section, but it always throws me off whenever we go to the store and I'm like, it's still there, and I bet it's gonna be here another year because like, no, just no.
It's right there too, and it just stares you in the face.
It does.
Hey guys, I'm Bill, also known as the Barbecue Games on Instagram.
And I'm Alex, his sister, who brings only chaos.
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast, a mostly video game centered podcast.
But half the time, we just talk about anime.
And that collecting thing, well, that's mostly just an implication at best.
So come along and enjoy us on this adventure
as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
I've been pretty good. This week went by super fast, but I've been so busy at my new job. But it's been really good. I like being super busy, so I'd say it's a pretty good week.
Busy's always good. That's not what I've been at work lately.
Oh.
I'm out of stuff to do. So now I'm doing inspection.
Well,
I don't know what's gonna happen from here.
At least you're not doing nothing, you know.
Yeah. For now.
Well, you can't worry about it.
We'll see.
You just gotta have plans, you know, and hope for the best.
Yep. Well, other than that, this week's been kind of sucky. It's been New England weather has been New England weather.
Yeah, like yesterday it was super warm, and then today it was cold.
Kind of.
It's pretty warm where I was. At least one of these days it was warm, right? Right?
I mean,
was it yesterday or was
it was? If you want to count 50, not even 50. If you it was more like 40.
It was 50 where I was at some point this week.
Like early in the week.
Yeah.
Not quite.
I don't remember.
Now,
That's what I'm telling you. That week flew by. I can't believe Monday was 5 days ago.
Yeah, and it's already freaking March.
I know. That's crazy. Well, it was funny. So the app for the concert, it accidentally sent a notification. It was like, your concert's today, and I was like, no, it's not. It got rescheduled.
I love how they canceled it right before the freaking state opened up.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, that's our luck.
Well, they rescheduled it. They didn't cancel it.
I know. It was just kind of like, we're not having the concert due to concerns, and then a week later, Massachusetts is open.
Honestly, though, it works out a hell of a lot better, though, because...
Yeah, it does conveniently. It's still just kind of like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Convenience-wise, it works out a lot better, because it's on, like, Patriots. It's on a holiday, so we get the day off.
Yeah, it was just annoying. It was like, eh.
Yeah, no, it's definitely frustrating.
And then I had to pay $4 for gas today, which was
$4. I wish I
only $4 per gallon.
Okay. I was gonna say $4.
$40 total, and I only paid $40 because I couldn't use my card because apparently the gas station I stopped at wasn't. The pumps were all broken because the last storm that happened broke them, and the card readers just don't work anymore.
Oh shit.
Sometimes they do apparently. Oh. But what's annoying was the card thing would still take your card and like lock it in there, and you'd be like,
Can I have my card back?
Hello. And it would time out eventually and let it out. But I was like,
hello.
Okay. So I had to go in and pay with cash, and I was like, so I just put 40 in.
I don't know about
pretty much filled it up
at home, but here at least, like if you use cash, it's actually cheaper usually.
Nah, there's not much of a difference up here.
Well, up here, I've noticed it at a lot of places. If you pay, I guess there's like in Connecticut at least, there's like a actual physical cash and like change shortage. So, because everyone pays electronically now, that like they don't really have it half the time.
I'm not sure I buy that 100%.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean I think it might be a Connecticut thing. I don't know. But a lot of places give incentives if you pay cash. Up here.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But
I don't know. Either way, that happened, and then other than that, week's been kind of a drag. I haven't had a motivation to like do anything this week.
No, I mean sometimes you just go through a slump, you know.
Well, it's so fucking cold, and when it's freezing, I'd hate living.
Well, we forgot to talk about something that happened this week that was very important.
Oh, your birthday happened this week.
Yeah! I'm 26. I feel really old.
Yep, and when this podcast comes out,
I'll be 27.
4 months from now.
I'll be 27.
It'll be like 2 months from now, so people will be very confused.
It's really...
We posted it. I posted a thing on the Instagram and the Twitter. So
I know. It's funny though. I was today I was listening to the podcast on my way to work. And the current episode I'm on, because I need to catch up, because I don't really listen to music that much at work anymore, or podcasts, just because, like, I'm up and down out of my desk, like, all day. There's not really, like, a moment where I'm sitting there for a long period of time. So, I haven't really been able to listen to the podcast, but I put it on in my drive today, which made the drive go by a hell of a lot faster, I will say. But
podcasts do that.
I'm currently listening to the handhelds one, and I kind of forgot, like, the what was it, the scene, like the teaser clip at the beginning. I was totally so confused, but then I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, the Swedish mafia.
Yeah, I was so confused. But
yeah, Gizmondo.
Well, it was funny, like, listening to it, because when we were on that podcast, I was still at my old job, so I was like, when did I have a snow day here besides the other day? And we didn't record that day. And then I was like, oh, wait, I have an old job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been one of those. But, other than that, what are you drinking?
Tonight I am drinking I think I drank this the last one, but Dell's Rhode Island Hard Tea, which is slightly carbonated and refreshingly different. I really love these. Like, they're so much better than Twisted Teas. I'll just say it. They are. Like, the carbonation...
Well, they're not a mega corporation international thing.
Well, I like Dell's, like, products in general. Like, they make the Dell's, like, beer with, like, lemonade. And those are actually really good. Like, I really like those.
Well, generally a smaller thing is usually better than a corporation. So.
Yeah. I really like...
It's usually how it goes.
I really like the Dells, though. I like this because I like the carbonation, and it doesn't taste like as sweet. I don't know. It's weird. I like it.
Yeah. I'm drinking so I did another random grab pick, and I'm drinking a Founders Brewing Company, highly acclaimed KBS flavored stout.
Oh, nice.
It's brewed with chocolate and coffee and aged in a bourbon barrel.
Oh my god.
What?
So I was doing a little, like, prepping for the podcast because I wanted to look up something, and I found something very cursed.
All right, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
when
no,
we get into the topic.
it's very cursed looking.
But going into before we get onto that, it's also a 12%.
Oh shit.
And when you take a sip, you feel it. It only came in a 4-pack, so you know why. And they were also expensive.
Ah.
But you take a sip and you're like, I can taste the bourbon and the stout. Yep. And it just goes right to your stomach, and you go, ooh boy, good thing I ate today.
Row. Oh, I got Panera today. I haven't had Panera in a while.
I haven't had Panera since 2019.
You should get Panera. I love Panera. I forgot how good it is. I mean, it's not good, but it's good, you know.
All I ever got from Panera was a salad.
Yeah, they got good sandwiches, but you don't like sandwiches. You're weird.
I don't like their bread. It's like a rock.
It's not a rock. Mine was not rock-like today.
I don't know. The local one, it's like not pleasant.
All right.
I prefer, if I'm gonna get like a sandwich, I'll go to like a Jersey Mike's or something, or like an extra.
I wonder if there's a Jersey Mike's near my work. Now I'm like genuinely curious. Now I really want Jersey Mike's. But anyways,
let's not make our viewers hungry.
Sorry.
So I guess. Oh, I also got a 3-pack of melatonin in the mail today. That was
nice.
fun.
You know, don't.
Because I had to
don't mix those up with the normal gummies, Bill.
I don't do gummies. They're the hard ones. They have to swallow.
Ugh. They're no fun.
I don't do gummy. I don't like gummy shit.
I don't like
Never
gummy shit.
I don't like the texture.
Just the way you said that was just funny. I don't like gummy shit.
Yeah, but I get like the 12 milligram like melatonin.
Oh, God.
That like knocks you the fuck out. Take two of those and then you're done.
I don't even need my mel. It's so funny. I used to have like such a hard time falling asleep like in college, and then now I just like I sit in my bed and
your freshman year you had a reason.
Oh yeah, my freshman year, but you know, no hate. People go through tough situations, especially at college your first year. I'm just going to say it. Freshman year of college, it just sucks. Like, they put you in a room with random people that you don't know, or if it's someone you do know, you end up probably hating them by the end of the year. Like, it sucks. Like, it's not fun. They're never perfect. I don't believe anyone who says they are. But
yeah, besides getting sidetracked by that, before we segue into our topic, because it's somewhat related, I have a collecting update.
Ah, yes.
So I've gotten a couple games in the mail.
Ooh.
And I guess first off, 3 of them are part of a series, and the other one is just a standalone. I got Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition for the Switch.
Nice.
To replace the digital copy I had, because I'm trying to clear up space on my Switch. Mm-hmm. And then I got 3 Dragon Quest games. I got the Dragon Quest 3-pack for the Switch, which is like a 3-pack containing Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. All like I think they're like based off the SNES ports of those games that we never got. Yep. Then I got Dragon Warrior Monsters. I think it's called like Tara's Adventure. It's like they did kind of like a Pokemon thing where they split it into 2 versions. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know there was 2 versions of it, so I now have both versions, even though I think they're technically the same game. Mm-hmm. And then finally, I got Dragon Quest Swords for the Wii, which is like a spin-off that I didn't know existed, and I found it, and I was like, it's like a on-rails Dragon Quest game where you use the Wiimote to like sword fight. It looks bad and terrible, but I needed it for the collection. But yeah, that's my collecting update for the day. I posted a thing on my blog about it, so.
Nice.
But yeah, anyways, on to our topic. So, you know, we're called the Gaming and Collecting Podcast, and you know, we make the joke that collecting is kind of an implied statement. Yeah. But we sometimes like to talk about it, and this episode in particular is going to be about collecting.
What?
No, really, collecting.
What?
So, the original idea behind this podcast was supposed to be a gaming-based podcast that also talked about the collecting circle and, like, collecting in general. Mm-hmm. And that whole concept fell completely by the wayside after, like, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And we became the Let's Bullshit About Whatever gaming or anime-related podcast. Yep. But we went from more of a current events idea podcast to a nostalgia-based podcast, and very quickly. Mm-hmm. I always say.
Yep.
But I still want to incorporate the collecting because it's in the name, and it is still a big part of why we do this to begin with. So I wanted to start by bringing up the Wikipedia page for collecting.
Yep.
Because I love it's I love how A, there's a Wikipedia page for collecting, and B, the definition is a hobby of collecting includes seeking, locating, acquiring, organizing, cataloging, displaying, storing, maintaining items that are of interest to an individual collector. Collections differ in a wide variety of respects, most obviously in the nature and scope of objects contained, but in all purpose, presentation, and so forth. The range of possible subjects for a collection is practically unlimited, and collectors have realized a vast number of these possibilities in practice, although some are much more popular than others. That's just the opening paragraph. I'm not going to read the whole page, but that is a pretty good definition for what collecting is.
Yep.
And as a gamer, most of the time, every probably 3 out of 4 gamers is also a collector of some sorts. But collecting is not strictly relegated to gaming. As Alex knows, and as I know,
yep,
you can collect a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the one time you can where it's borderline acceptable to be a hoarder.
Yep.
Because you see, the one difference between a hoarder and a collector is collectors organize their shit.
Hoarders do not.
Hoarders let it pile up and don't give a shit what's where. They just,
Yeah, they just... Whoops.
So, I guess to start, I don't really want it to go to our history of collecting, because, I mean, that could be anywhere. But I wanted to start kind of with... Obviously, game collecting is what I'm most known for online, on my blog.
I would hope so. At this point.
No. They just like my witty dialogue.
Ah,
That's
yes,
what it really
the witty
is.
dialogue.
No. That most people probably don't even read, but I love the guys who do. Even the guys who yell about the capitalization thing, which is an inside joke, people.
Yep.
But anyways, so like gaming. I mean, Alex knows I've always been a gamer. I always say gaming since '95, even though technically it was more like '97. Because I wasn't gaming as a fetus. But, I've always been a gamer, always collected the games I had. Like, I was never one to, like... I never traded in games to buy other games. I always held on to my games.
Yep.
To this day. So even if I got a game that was utter garbage, or it was, like, a gift that I didn't particularly care about, I always saved it. A, not to be a dick, but also just because it's a game.
Yep.
And I get attached to the games I have. But the collecting bug really didn't hit until around 2009, I want to say. And 2009 was around the point where I discovered, like, the internet. I think I've said this on the podcast previously, but 2009 is around, like, when I discovered, like, the whole internet YouTube, like, scene, and, like, I discovered, like, YouTube channels like Classic Game Room and stuff.
Yep.
And they just were talking about, like, video game consoles and doing, like, console retrospectives.
Yeah.
And I found this one video. I think it was actually Classic Game Room's video on the Sega Dreamcast. And I didn't know a lot about gaming history at that point. Like, I hadn't really gotten super into it. I was mostly we had all the PlayStations at home.
Yep.
We knew about Nintendo because we had a Wii, and obviously everyone we knew had, like, a GameCube and N64.
Yeah, and we had, like,
Game Boys, handhelds. And everyone knew what the Xbox was because that was, like, the big thing. That was the thing at the time. But I didn't really know... I knew what Sega was because I knew Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. But I didn't really realize Sega made consoles because... by the time
they weren't happening anymore. Like, Sega was already...
Born 95. Sega was already on the way out by then.
Well, Sega's,
by the time the
Dreamcast
career failed, we were, like... I was 6, you were 5, so we basically barely missed the Sega era of consoles. We really didn't know much about their history there.
Yeah.
We knew them as the company that made Sonic.
Yep. Sonic.
And so I got very intrigued by the Dreamcast at the time. So I went on Amazon and I found out that you could actually get brand new Dreamcasts at the time for like barely anything. And so I asked for my birthday that year if I could get a Dreamcast and a couple games, and I got the Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. And the bug was basically, it started from there, and that's kind of what started the journey.
Oh,
Alex?
hello? Hello? Uh-oh.
Hello? Well, that was inconvenient. So let's try this again.
Yep. Well, it's all happens when you're recording with someone online. Sometimes your internet just says, not today.
Yep. So, in case anybody's wondering why the abrupt... I mean, no one's going to know what happened because obviously this is going to come out like a month from now, but...
Yeah.
If anyone wonders why the abrupt change in tone between the first 18 minutes of this episode, Alex's Wi-Fi just pooped itself, so...
Yes. So we're trying again.
Yep, it's a week later, so
Yep.
we're gonna try this again, and hopefully nothing wrong happens this time.
Hopefully. We'll just
So I guess quick recap. How you been?
I've been good. Work has been very busy, but it's very fulfilling. So that's good.
At least somebody's work is going busy.
Hey, I have a foot in the door for you, Bill. So just
I need to. I want my money first.
I know.
Then
I
we'll
get
talk.
it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad though. They laid off 3 more people today.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Are you worried that like you might be next, or?
No, not really, but it's sucky.
Do you kind of hope you are though? Because then you get the 7,000.
I don't want to hope anything just because.
No, yeah.
But yeah. So other than that, and it's been pretty average. I went to a GameStop for like the first time in like 2 months.
Oh,
today.
why'd you go?
To pick up, I was going to pick up Triangle Strategy and also see if I could get a copy of Elden Ring because no one will shut up about it.
Yeah,
I've they were sold out of Elden Ring, so I only got Triangle Strategy.
I've heard so much about Elden Ring, but is it like what is it?
It's a Souls like action role playing game, like Soul. It's one of those, the Soul series. The whole point is that they're stupidly hard.
Nope, I don't know that series.
No, it's a very niche series that's gotten really popular over the years, and I've played a couple of them. I suck at them personally, but I figured I'd give it a shot. But they didn't have any PS5 copies left, so I wasn't gonna go out of my way. I really wanted Triangle Strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, and also I got the first half of the final season of Attack on Titan on Blu-ray. So.
Oh, did you watch it or?
No, I'm waiting till it's done and then I'm binging it.
Ah, me too. I'm actually gonna re-watch it all once it's done. But speaking of anime, I started watching One Piece again, and then I stopped because I realized I only have 30 episodes until I'm caught up, and they're not even posting a new episode this week because of they posted on Twitter that they weren't. So, yeah. So I'm sad. I don't want to be caught up.
Well, at least One Piece gives you the. Will actually tell you things, not just decide. Well, we're not releasing another episode for 4 months.
Well, but that's not the dub though. Like that's like
I know.
The dub. They barely say anything. So.
I'm just venting.
It's okay. You vent your heart out.
So, are we drinking anything? I know this is going to sound really redundant in the actual episode, but.
Well, I am. I made myself a Moscow Mule.
I think that's what you were drinking earlier in the episode too.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I was drinking.
Oh no, yeah, you were drinking
Adele's hard tea. So I ran out of those, so I made myself a Moscow Mule, which I also love Moscow Mules. They're like my favorite drink, and they're so easy to make.
I was lazy today, so I just grabbed a Cayman Jack margarita in a can.
Oh, I have those in my fridge, but the bottle version.
Those go down a little bit too easily.
They do.
I have to say.
So, I almost want to mix them with something. Like, I want to, like, mix them with, like, a seltzer to, like, kind of, like... I feel like they're so heavy. Like, they're so sugary that I want something to, like, de-sugarize it when I drink them. Does that sound weird?
They don't really have a lot of sugar in them, though.
I feel like they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird.
I'd have to reread the what's in them, but... Anyways, this was a collecting podcast.
It is still a collecting podcast.
The thing that's in the title.
See, this podcast, we're collecting 2 of them at once. You know, we collected.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so I guess I left off, I was giving my story of how I started collecting, like, video games anyways.
Yep.
And it was so I guess a quick rundown. Mid 2000, well no, late 2000s YouTube, YouTubers talking about video games all the time. I saw a video on the Sega Dreamcast, immediately became obsessed with it, discovered video game history, started looking into that, asked our wonderful mother if I could have a Dreamcast for my birthday that year, because at the time Dreamcast could literally go for like, I think it was like $50 for a boxed one or something like that. And then she got me the Dreamcast, an extra controller, and Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Because our mom is great.
Yep. We have the best mom.
Yep. And I immediately from that point on was obsessed, like, with video games and their history and collecting. And I always say collecting is like an addiction. Like, it's just like one of those things.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm a collector now, so I get it.
Yeah. So, I guess, like, going on that, like, what makes collecting so, like, crazy is, like, the whole, like, it's such an open hobby, but at the same time, it's also very specific, depending on your tastes. Because you can literally collect anything.
Yeah.
But we break it into all these, like, subcategories. Like, obviously, game collecting is a massive subcategory. But then, of course, you also have your new collecting hobby, if you'd like to go into it.
Oh, yeah. So, I guess my new collecting hobby is figurines. I guess it kind of started with, like, pop figures, where I was collecting a bunch of those. And then, eventually, I was just like, you know what? I want the real anime things. I don't want, like, the pop figures. I want the real ones. So I went, and I think I was started where I found this store, in Connecticut, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I don't even have to buy anything. I can just look. And I saw these 3 One Piece figures, and they came as a set, and it was, Luffy, Ace, and Sabo. It was from, a special spin-off comic that basically kind of rewrites a version of history. I mean, it's not canon, but, like, it's kind of this retelling of a prominent storyline, and it kind of it's like everyone's dream that really happened, but it didn't happen in the actual canon. So it kind of started with that, and then after that, I was just like, well, now I want more. And I kind of just kept getting more, and then eventually I was like, well, I need a place to store them, so I bought these.
One of the biggest hurdles in game collecting is the constant need for more shelves and more places to put all your shit.
Yeah, and exactly. And once I got the shelves, because I think the first time I went, I bought 3, and then the second time I went, I bought 2 more. I bought 2, and they were 2 JoJo's figures, and they were my Jotaro figure and my Josuke figure. And then after that, I think the next time I bought figures was at I believe it was not Anime Boston. Kineticon.
Was it Kineticon?
Yeah, it was Kineticon. The next time I bought
figures.
Yeah,
you're right.
It was Kineticon, and I ended up getting another JoJo's Bizarre Adventure figure. It was a Dio figure,
Dio.
from part 2, and it literally took me up until like a month ago to figure out how the stand worked, but I finally figured it out. And with that one, I also bought my Rimaru one.
Oh yeah, and your greatest disappointment ever.
Yeah, where I thought it lit up, but instead it just talked. But it's still cool. I mean, like it makes like it's. I mean, it's in Japanese, so I don't know what it's saying, but I enjoy it. And then what happened next? I'm trying to think.
I guess we can come back to that later. We'll transition on to another thing.
Well, so that was like my start, but we'll come back to it.
Yeah. So I mean, even before that, collecting was always kind of a thing. Like, even before like I was like a huge game collector, I had a massive collection of CDs because I've always been like one of the reasons that causes people to become collectors too is they have not so much like a disgust, but like an aversion to like strictly digital media, where like you just want to own a physical, tangible object.
Yeah.
That you can hold in your hand. Because when you buy something digital, you're not really buying it. You're just buying like a license or like the right to like listen or play said whatever you're purchasing, which is kind of turns some people off to like this whole like thing.
Yeah.
Especially in like terms of like video games and like music or movies, because it's like at any time like we're seeing it now with stuff like this, the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U stores are going offline, where it's like these things are just like at any second could be gone forever, and once they're gone, you have no way of getting them again.
Yeah.
So a physical object is like just like a better option for some people. Mm-hmm. The problem is though is the space. Because my God, when you start collecting, does the space become an issue very quickly?
Oh yeah.
Like I've like acquired so many freaking shelves in the past like decade that I'm like surrounded by just media everywhere I look.
Oh.
But I mean, so like now I guess going on like. So you said pop figures originally. Wasn't that like a time for a while?
I would say, well, the pop figures were not like the first thing I ever collected, but it kind of led me into collecting like the figures I collect today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like it was like I believe it was like my my senior year of college. I got super into collecting pop figures. Because I think also my senior year of college, I was kind of like starting to, kind of accept that like I was nerdy and...
You just accepted we're nerds.
Yeah, like I was nerdy, I liked anime, and, I wasn't embarrassed by it anymore because I started to learn that like these people...
Everybody's freaking into it.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was just like I think like I kind of tried to hide things like that were me because I wanted to fit in, especially with like my sorority and everything. And I think my senior year is when I got super kind of fed up with my sorority and all like the drama, and I just like I kind of stopped caring, and I kind of just was like, I'm just gonna be me and I'm gonna enjoy being me, and if people don't like me for that, then oh well, they weren't really good friends to begin with, so...
Yeah, they were never friends. They were never truly friends at that point.
Yeah, so I think that kind of stemmed to my collecting. It was like, like, I like these things. I like anime, I like video games, I like things like this, and, I'm gonna collect it, so,
See, it's funny, because I brought up the pop figures, because, like, I swear, they came out of nowhere, and they are still... They're not quite like the phenomenon that they were back in the day, but they are still everywhere.
Oh yeah, they're still popping them out. Like, it's like half of the Newberry comics is just pop figures when you go into there.
Most of the GameStops are just walls, like Hot Top at every store.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go to a store without finding a pop figure
I've noticed
anymore.
recently that Hot Topic's been phasing them out.
Yeah, well, they're not the Hot Topic anymore.
Yeah.
Haha.
Yeah, so, as much as, like, don't really collect pop figures as much now anymore, but I still really do appreciate them, because they kind of just, like, they're kind of my first step into, like, being, like, like, this is me, I like this, and, like, I'm not gonna be afraid to, like, not gonna be afraid to say it anymore. Like, this is what I like and this is me. So.
It's super funny, though, because it's like, they're such a simple little thing, because they're all literally the same basic shape.
Yeah.
But they're so detailed for what they are. It's interesting how much like work they actually goes into them for such a simple little thing.
Yeah, like the ones that you got me for my birthday, the Luffy and Nico Robin ones, like they're so detailed and they're so like nice. Like I really love them. I put them with my Bulbasaur on the top shelf, so they have a nice home. But I really love them.
There's like that the Freddie Mercury one that Mom got me for birthday, I think I want to say. That one's funny as hell, just because it's like got the crown, the cape, like everything, like even his like trademark half mic stand.
Yeah.
It's up there with my anime figures. It's standing next to Yukiko.
Very fitting.
Yeah, that's always funny though. Yeah, I still remember like when the NASCAR ones came out and you were like calling me, you were like, I need a Dale Earnhardt, get me a Dale Earnhardt.
And you did.
So I bought two. One for me, one for you.
Thank you.
So, I guess another fun thing about collecting has been like some of this, because the collecting has. I don't want to get into like the deep meta of game collecting because I was on a podcast recently talking about that more in depth. But I will say like one of the reasons why I've expanded into other collecting fields is because game collecting in itself has just become such a hassle and like unpredictable market. Granted, most things in the world are unpredictable these days.
Oh yeah.
But because collecting is an addiction in a lot of ways. I've branched off into collecting other forms of media in the sense, but I have had some pretty crazy like collecting stories that we can get into. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Woo!
And we're back.
We're back. Whoa. Ho. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying in the last part.
Remember, I bring only the chaos.
Yeah, we know. Well, we're actually talking about the collecting for once, but so I've had some pretty interesting collecting like stories over the years, like just like sometimes you just going out of your way to get stuff. Like I'll never forget like my I've told this story before, but how I got the GameCube is like probably one of my favorite like goofy stories ever. Mm-hmm. So this was around like 2011, I want to say. So I started collecting games in 2009.
Yep.
And by that point, I'd already gotten like my hands on like a Sega Genesis that I won on a eBay auction. My first eBay like auction win I ever got. An N64, and a whole bunch, and like I don't think, maybe I got the Super Nintendo by this point. But one of my favorites is how I got the GameCube.
Yep.
So the GameCube was around 2011. This was by the point where like the Wii was obviously the main system, and GameCubes were basically being traded into GameStop left and right, and GameStop was just couldn't get rid of the damn things because there was too many of them.
Yep.
So I go to GameStop, and I had some money at the time. Mm-hmm. So I just asked, like, I went to this random GameStop. It was at a random mall that we didn't usually go to. Mm-hmm. And I asked about the price for GameCubes, and they actually were sold out of them, believe it or not. For like the one time, like, they didn't have any at that point in time. Oh, no. So I was like, kind of bummed, but then I noticed they had one on the counter in the back. And they said, oh, that's going to get tossed. It's broken. And I just looked at the employee, and I was kind of like, I'll give you $5 for that. Just take it off your hands. And they probably weren't supposed to do this, but they did it anyway. So I got the GameCube. And then I bought Melee at the same time, which ended up being $50, so I spent $50 for Melee, and then $5 for the GameCube. And then I go home, and I had a 50-50 shot of it working or not. I spent $5. It was like really like if I lost, I lost. If I won, I won. So I plug it in, get it all set up, press the power button, works first try. I to this day am not really sure. Maybe they just used a faulty like power cord, or like they just did plug it in all the way or something.
I don't know.
But yeah, so that's how I got the GameCube, because GameStop employees were being stupid.
That's so funny. Wow.
I always remember that one. Yeah, that was funny though, because I always laughed that I spent more money on Melee than I did for the GameCube itself. Because Melee held its value for like years, because it was still $50 full price for like the longest time.
Yeah, well, you could also play it on the Wii, as you could play the GameCube games on the Wii. So
yeah. So another fun story that I remember was one of my first collecting road trips, where I drove into I got up at like, I probably got up like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I drove into Boston to go to a retro game store, because at the time there wasn't any close by around us.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe Bowser's Basement was open yet. And so I literally did like a 2-hour drive like through Boston traffic, all the way up to like the middle of like nowhere. Like I had to go through the city to like this little like off like a smaller section of the city that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, just to go to this random game store that I happened to find online. And I remember, because it was like there wasn't even parking. You had to park on the street like to even go there. And I remember because I had to pee so badly, but there was no bathrooms around, and I was like, I just held it in for the entire trip.
Oh no.
And I ended up going in there, and it was a pretty cool store. It was very small, very cramped, like, but there was a ton of cool stuff to find. And I ended up getting a Game Boy player for the GameCube at the time.
Oh, nice.
And I found Conker. that was how I got Conker.
How much did you spend on it there?
At the time, it was... So, he was asking $109 for it at the time. But because I bought the Game Boy player, and I think I bought Kingdom Hearts, one of the DS Kingdom Hearts as well, he ended up taking like $20 off, and he gave it to me for $90.
Oh, nice.
I also shot the shit with him for a bit. He was a nice enough guy. And I made that, and then I had to immediately, like, after I got back in my truck, I was like, I need to find a bathroom. I am not gonna make it.
Oh no.
So I ended up going to a CVS that I found.
Hey,
and I had to ask for the key, because they didn't have public restrooms. Like, it was a straight up emergency.
You were like, please, I'm gonna shit myself, please.
Sure.
Yes.
And then I bought like a stick of gum out of just like, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for this piece of gum.
Yeah, game collecting's always been fun like that, especially like we talked about in the past, like the random like flea market adventures, which we really need to do, like a flea market at some point now that the world's going back to normal.
I know, we definitely do, because I honestly feel like I might be able to find some pretty neat anime figures, maybe.
I gotta do that.
I'm gonna look that up tonight, actually. I really want to do that next time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got Anime Boston coming up first, which is gonna be another collecting trip pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was another funny one. Yeah. Other than gaming, though, I've started kind of branching out because of how expensive gaming's gotten over the last like year and a half, like 2 years. I've started kind of branching out into like different collecting hobbies to satiate the habit. And another, like, one of the biggest ones is like anime collecting now, like anime box sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like that's probably my second favorite hobby right now is catching up on different animes, and like some of those box sets are hard to find these days.
No, yeah, some of them you gotta like search like all the crevices and stuff.
Especially the older ones, like. Getting all of Naruto Shippuden was like a journey and a half, because it was like it's 38 volume, like 38 sets, of DVDs, and I started from the back. So I started from like 38 and just went backwards because it was easier that way. But yeah, that cost like, I think it took me like half a year to get them all, and that they cost, I think, around $300 in total by the end.
Oh wow.
Spread over the course of like half a year, granted, but still.
Yeah, but still a lot.
Yeah, because I'd collect like a couple at a time, just to slowly kind of like get them all. That one took a while. I mean, because now I'm also collecting original Naruto, because they were re-releasing that on Blu-ray right now.
No.
And of course all the Dragon Ball stuff. It's funny because on the other hand, with you're just you just stream everything.
Yeah, I just stream. Yeah, I stream. I have some like box sets, but for the most part, I just stream.
Yeah.
Or like I'll buy the digital copy, like I have with like the One Piece movies.
Yeah, because it's just sometimes easier like that, and it takes out a lot less space. And then I guess another. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, that's the big one, the space issue, because especially with my hobby, like one thing I want to do is I don't want to throw the boxes away, but it's really hard to store the boxes, so I'm hoping
especially those pop-up parade ones.
Oh yeah, well honestly, the pop-up parade ones aren't even that bad compared to some of the ones I have, like one of the ones I just got, the box is huge, but the figure is sick, so it's worth it. But the box is huge, and I have nowhere to put it, so it's on my shelf.
You never did share what you got on that trip.
I was waiting, for when I go back into talking about my figures.
Okay, well I'll quickly talk about my other recent hobby, and then we'll go to let you go on that.
All right.
So aside from anime. Obviously, it's no secret on this podcast that my favorite anime of all time is Inuyasha.
Yep.
And I really wanted to start collecting the Inuyasha manga, just to kind of get the different perspective, because the manga is very different from the anime in a lot of ways. It's the same story, but it does change a few things, obviously.
Yeah. As
most manga and anime do. Mm-hmm. So I made a goal of trying to just at least get all the Inuyasha, like, Viz Big mangas. Yep. And I ended up getting all of those, and that kind of sparked another addiction in a sense of now I'm trying to collect manga for a couple of shows that I really like. Yep. So I've gone on since, and I finished Inuyasha.
Nice.
I'm currently collecting Mao, which is like Rumiko Takagashi's newest manga she's writing. Mm-hmm. And then I've recently just finished Fruit Baskets. I'm collecting that manga.
Good job.
And then I have all that's been released of Komi so far.
Nice.
Which has been fun, but my god, manga takes up a lot of space too.
Oh yeah. Not everything takes up a ton of space. There's no space.
But it hurts too, because A, it takes up space, but also you want to display it in like a presentable way that looks nice. Which makes it even worse, because it's like you can't just be like practical sometimes. You have to be like fancy to make it so it looks nice.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess back to your anime figure collecting now. What was your latest acquisition?
Well, I never finished though what I was talking about. I was going through, but then you said no
All right.
more.
So let's go back. Let's continue on.
Okay. Where did I leave off? I think I was talking about the Kineticon.
The JoJo's.
It was Kineticon, fine. So, I guess after Kineticon, I think the next time I went was actually the first time taking you to the figure store.
Oh, right, yeah, because I didn't get anything the first time we went there.
No, I think the first time you went there, I think I only bought. I bought two. I bought the Rimuru Tempest figurine, which is because remember he was
no. Actually, no. The first time you went is when you bought the two JoJo's ones. So this happened before Kineticon. So this is the second time you went.
All right,
because I got the Moroha at that time.
Well, this is the third time I went, but the second time you went.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is confusing. So the third time we went, I ended up getting a Rimuru Tempest figure, where he's like in his human, but also has his dragon wings. And it was a bitch to put together, but it looks pretty sick, but very difficult to put together. And then I also got a Marco figure from One Piece, where he's his phoenix wings are out, and he just looks so happy and sunshiny. Or actually, no, I think I'm wrong.
No, you did, because I posted the picture of those two.
No, but I think I went before. I went before Kineticon. And I got two other ones. Actually,
oh, you did. You did.
I think I didn't. So this is really confusing. Okay, so the first three I got were the Ace, Sabo, and Luffy, and then the second two I got weren't the JoJo's figures. They were actually two more One Piece figures, and they were red-haired Shanks and then Law from One Piece. So I got those two. And then after that, I got the two JoJo's figures of Jotaro and Josuke. And then after that, I got the Dio and Rimuru as a slime one. And then after that, I got the Rimuru as a human dragon form and the Marco one. So
Yep.
that's where I'm like thinking about it now, and I'm like, it feels like I've had them for a while.
See, that's the other great thing about collecting. All your like trips and stuff get mixed together after a while, and you don't remember what you when not you actually did something.
Yeah. So I think the next time I went was I actually took my friend. My friend came up, and I actually took him there, and I actually got 3 My Hero Academia figures, where I got Bakugo, Deku, and All Might. And the All Might one is probably one of my favorite ones because it's just so funny.
Yeah, it's funny though, because to cut you off real quick, I always laugh with these anime figures are like some of the most fascinating but also disturbing things that like on the planet to me.
Yep.
Because some of them are really cool and like super detailed, like all the ones you have, or like the more like I guess like conservative ones you can say.
Yep.
But then there's like the frickin' like that one at the anime store that's never gonna sell.
It's never gonna sell. Yeah.
The ones that are like highly sexualized, and it's like these make me uncomfortable.
It's just like I feel like if you're gonna buy those, you're gonna buy those online where no one is going to see you.
Or you're gonna go to a store that's just like distinctly tailored to that.
Yeah, well, cause like in Japan they have like their own section or like their own stores, which are literally like the porny ones, I guess you could say. Like that's the best way to describe it. Like they literally have their own section, but it always throws me off whenever we go to the store and I'm like, it's still there, and I bet it's gonna be here another year because like, no, just no.
It's right there too, and it just stares you in the face.
It does. It's so it's like you can't look away kind of thing. You're like, ah. So I think after that, the next ones I got were, I'm trying to think. Oh, so I think the next one I got actually was Christmas. And Mom actually got me this one, and it was Corazon from One Piece. So that one's special because my mom got it for me, and she tried really hard, so it's really sweet of her. Thanks, Mom. And then after that, I think the next one I got was probably my, I don't know if this was, I think it was, the next one I got was probably one of my most favorites, and it's my Joestar figure that is like the bust. It's just so sick. It's so detailed and it's so cool. It
cost you $200.
No, it wasn't $200. It was expensive though. It's my most expensive one, but it's just so cool.
It was quite a bit. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it was a lot, but it was worth it. And then at that time, I also bought you the Moroha figure, or no, it was the Inuyasha one.
I bought the Moroha.
And then I'm trying to think. After that, we went to that other figure store where we went on that adventure, and found that really cool mall that had like a whole bunch of different stores. And that was pretty sick. And I got 2 Haikyuu figures. I got Hinata and Kageyama. And then I also got a Tornado from One Punch Man. And that's like my only like girl figure, but she's just so cool that I love her character. Like, she's great. And then after that, what did I get after that?
That was when me and you went the other time, and you got Jinbei.
Jinbei! Yeah! I got Jinbei. I think that was the only one I got. No, I got... I got 3. I got 3 that day. I got the Jinbei one, and then I got 2 figures from Jujutsu Kaisen. I got...
Right, and the little tiny one.
Yeah, I got Gojo, and then I got Yuji. And the Gojo one is just kind of him standing there, posing, being very Gojo. And I really like it. It's a cool figure. But I got the Yuji one, and I wanted to put them together. But then I realized that it was like a soup topper. So, it's actually, you're supposed to put it like on like your like ramen, like your packaged ramen, and like to go over the lid so it stays close. But he's pretty cool, and I put him on a different shelf now. He's not on the same shelf with him anymore, and he looks pretty sick up there. So I like him. He's cool and small. But my most recent one, sorry for my figure binge. My most recent one was me and Mom actually found this store. We weren't even trying to find them. We just found it. This store at this little outlet mall in Connecticut, and we go in, and it's just like, whoa. So I ended up getting another My Hero Academia figure. I got Shigaraki, which is one of the main villains in My Hero Academia. And that one's like pretty sick. It's like his Meta Liberation arc design. So I really like that one. And it goes with my other My Hero Academia figures, which is nice. And then I got another Luffy figure. It's in his design for the Wano arc. Not his kimono, but after they leave Wano to go to... they're still in Wano, but they go to... I'm brain farting on the name of the island, but it's Kaido's island, where his base is. So, he's in his, orange short... Hello? Hello?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I'm here. Wait, I can hear.
So why does your Wi-Fi hate this episode, Alex?
I don't know. It's cursed. I think Tilly put it. You know what it is? It's the cabinet that Mom sent. It's cursed. It's sending cursed energy.
It wasn't there last time, though.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
The last time we recorded. Yeah.
No, I thought Mom dropped it off that weekend. No, it was last weekend. Last week. Mom, I'm pretty certain and we recorded the day before because Mom left the next day.
I don't know. I'm confused now.
Either way, we lost Wi-Fi again. We're flustered. Let's continue on. You were talking about the outlet mall.
Yes. So
and your My Hero Academia figure.
Okay, so recap. Went to an outlet mall. Surprise figure store. So, anyways, first one I got, I believe I already said it, but it was Shigaraki Tomiya, the villain from blah blah blah, from My Hero Academia. And then I also talked about the Luffy one, because I got I was talking about the second Luffy.
Yep.
The second Luffy figure.
Oh, you were talking about the Wano arc. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was talking about that. So, and then the third figure I got was it was a Frankie figure, which Frankie is like the cyborg one.
Yep.
And it's in his General Frankie suit, so he's also an inventor, so he basically makes a transformer for himself, and it's awesome, and it's on my top shelf, and it's so heavy.
Alex, at this point, you're gonna have to just get a scale model of the Thousand Sunny and just put them all on it.
I want a Thousand Sunny model. They make those. I gotta find one.
I know, because you're getting to the point where you have almost the whole crew.
Yeah, I need to get the whole crew at some point. But yeah, so that's all I really have for figures right now. But I'm always looking for more, even though I'm running out of room. So.
Yep, it's a curse because it's like you always have to play the shuffle game of shuffling around your collection to make more room somehow.
Yep. So.
You have to just rearrange it to make more space because that's just how it works.
Yep, it's just how it works.
But So I've noticed too with collecting recently, like I've kind of reached that point, like where I've gotten pretty much everything I could want. Now I'm kind of just like going for more like specific like sets and like mini collections, I guess you could say. Like, so for like video games, I've said this before, but my first video game ever was Clax on the Game Boy Color.
Yep.
And one of my collecting goals now is I want to track down every version of Clax ever released.
Nice.
So I've been like getting like the original like NES, Game Boy. I imported a Sega Master System version. I have an Atari 2600 version. All boxed copies, just all sorts of little things like NASCAR. We grew up watching a lot of NASCAR, so I've been trying to collect every single NASCAR game that was ever released.
That's so fun.
Like just
though.
like little mini collections that are worthless to anybody other than you, because that you're the only person that they matter to.
Yeah, but that's what makes them special, you know? Like,
well, what I hate about the modern collecting scene is it's all about how much is it worth, how rare is this. Like, it's not about the spirit. Like,
yeah, like
what it means to you. Like, to me, like, I collect things that matter to me.
Yeah.
Like, I only want to play games that I actually like care about. That's why I have like a ton of like crappy racing games, because I love racing and auto stuff. And like I just if it looks bad but cool, I'll still pick it up and give it a shot, even if it's terrible, because it's just fun.
Yeah, it brings you joy, and that's all that matters. You know, if it makes.
That's another fun collection too. Is my die-casts, like NASCAR die-casts. Like basically just little like scale models of the race cars.
Yeah.
You can get either the little tiny ones or the bigger ones. I got one for Alex at the flea market. It's on her TV stand.
Hello?
Oh, is it your cat?
No. You went into robot mode.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, so that's another crazy one.
Yep.
You ever had any collecting regrets?
Well, I guess there was like one time I saw like one of the figures I bought. It wasn't my most expensive one, but like it was one that it was one of my more expensive side ones, and I literally saw it online at like Crunchyroll for much cheaper than I spent for it, and I was just like, oh, I wish I did that instead.
That happens to me a lot, where like the market will just like shift overnight.
Yeah.
And the thing you bought for super expensive will be like all of a sudden like half its price, and you'll be like, what the hell?
Yep. And you're just
or like
sad.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Well, no, you're just like, oh, I spent so much more money.
Yeah. But or like in the case of like say manga, where it's like there's that one volume that you can't find to complete a set.
Yep.
And you go out of your way to buy it online for more than it's worth, and then you go to the comic store the next day and it's sitting there, and you're like,
no. Yep.
That's happened to me twice now.
Oh. Now that's just
and then you're sitting there tempted, like, do I just cut my losses and grab it now?
Yeah, and it's just
to complete the set.
You have to think on it, and you're just like, I know. I've honestly been thinking about. I really want to start collecting the One Piece manga.
And that's a lot of manga.
Yeah. Well, they make. So I'm honestly thinking about saving up, because they like. There's people who sell like giant sets on eBay, but then my only fear is that like I get scammed, and that's like a ton of money.
Well, eBay will usually like have your back if something like that happens.
Yeah, so I hope that happens.
You gotta look at the seller's ratings and stuff too, so.
Yeah. I'll have to investigate, but yeah, so
yeah. But I've seen that, like, that's kind of one of my reasons I'm looking forward to Anime Boston this year, aside from I'm not sure about some of the things that they have going on, but I'm using Anime Boston this year as just an excuse to go shopping, essentially. And I'm curious to buy, like, because usually they have all the manga for sale and all the anime for sale and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm usually not going game hunting at Anime Boston, but I do occasionally find some decent gaming stuff.
No, yeah.
Every now and then.
That's what I'm kind of hoping. I'm kind of, like... That's what I'm excited for, like, because I've never been to Anime Boston with, like, the intent of, like, buying figurines before.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be pretty cool. So, I'm going to definitely save up some money for it. And I'm probably not going to go figure hunting for a little while, and I'm going to wait until Anime Boston. But I think we both decided that we're probably not going to cosplay. But if I do, it will be, like, very minimum. Or I'll bring back one of my old ones. But I think for the most part...
I'm just probably not this year. But,
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. The only option that I might do is I might, like, redo Android 17. But I'm not... 18. Sorry, I was brain farting. I might do that again.
Yeah.
But I still don't know.
Yeah. It's funny. It's a collecting episode, and we still kind of fell off the collecting chart. But then again,
we have an excuse this time. Okay.
The world just doesn't want this episode to happen.
No, apparently it doesn't.
No, but I guess, like, in terms of regrets, though, like, I have had the occasion, like, you know, the whole, like, when something's, like, so hyped up that, like, as, like, the greatest thing ever, and you finally get your hands on it, and it ends up being disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, I've had that with a few games over the years, like, where it's, like, people say they're, like, the greatest thing in the world, and then you play them, and they're, like...
This sucks.
They're okay, but it's not, like, this, like, groundbreaking masterpiece. By any means. Thankfully, I haven't had that with, like, a super rare game.
Yeah.
But I've had a few. Like, it's such an odd hobby. Like, I always feel like... You always feel like you're finally getting, like, a grasp on it, and then it just all of a sudden throws you for a loop, and then you're like,
yep.
Everything I've achieved is now out the window. Time to start something new.
Yep. Well, hopefully it's not always like that.
No, well, gaming's still been fulfilling for the most part. It just the problem with gaming right now is it's still so expensive.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't appear to be getting any cheaper.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's same with the figures.
Yeah. Well, figures at least have the excuse of they're imported from Japan most of the time.
Oh yeah.
But some of them, there's definitely some price gouging going on there.
No, most definitely. There's sometimes... Well, that's why I guess, like, that could also be... I mean, it can't really count as a regret because, like, at the time I wasn't collecting. But it is, like, it's real depressing when, like... when I think about how I went to Japan and I didn't buy any figures, and it's just like...
Oh, yeah. Well, those probably would have been a pain getting back, though, through customs and everything.
No, yeah. Most definitely would have been a total pain in the ass. Like, it wouldn't have been fun at all.
But it's the things you do for the hobby.
Yep, the things we do.
This weird little hobby that we are forever going to be stuck with.
Yeah. So, it's like, womp womp. But, I guess that could be, like, considered one of my regrets. Or just, like, you know, ordering something and then being like, buying something and then seeing it online for cheaper. Always a little depressing. But, you know, what are you going to do?
That happens a lot. There's also you buy things without really doing the research and they come in and you're like, this isn't what I expected.
Yup.
That happens with anime a lot. That's why I have so much, like, anime that I'll probably never watch.
Yeah. Well, I still, like, I'm going to try and make you watch more One Piece movies. Like, I'm sorry, but when One Piece film Red comes out in theaters, I'm making you go with me. You're going to go see it with me, whether you like it or not.
It's alright, we'll watch Dragon Ball Superhero.
I'm down for that, too. I'll go see that.
Yeah, well, we've somehow made it an hour for this episode, so that's an achievement in itself.
And we talked about what's in the title, so, you know, I think we deserve a pat on the back, honestly. We did a good job.
Yeah. I do think for future episodes I want to do, like, a recurring, like, collecting like talk segment at the beginning during the How You Been, where we just discuss any updates, kind of like what I've been trying to do with more of the recent episodes.
I like it. I think it's like I like it. I like doing that. I'm a fan.
I'd like at some point too, maybe to like bring in like other collectors and just kind of have discussions maybe in the future, but that's for later down the line, I'd say.
I definitely think that would be fun. And it's also nice because we like meet new people, make new connections, so it's good for them, it's good for us. Woo!
We'll see. Well, we opened the door, we did a collecting episode. It almost killed us.
It did.
It took the longest production of an episode we've ever had.
Yeah, if we ever record with someone, let's not do Fridays. Fridays seem to be cursed, so.
Yeah. But just lately, we were doing so well too.
Yeah, we were doing real good, and then just didn't. But we finished this episode, and it's gonna be a bitch to put together for you, but
yeah,
I'm sure you can do it.
Oh yeah. Well, all right, guys. Well, anyways, thanks again for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast can be found on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are also made on Anchor Podcasts, and you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, GoodPods, and the episodes come out on YouTube whenever I get around to uploading them, because editing videos takes time.
It does.
Anyways, guys, once again, thanks for joining us, and we will see you all next time.
See you later, and hopefully the Wi-Fi cooperates. Yeah.
Oh. Rip.
Oh, ribbit. I'm a frog. Bye.